shall be lifted up over my enemy. And I believe I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. And I believe I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. And I believe I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. And I believe I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Oh Lord, you are the one thing I desire, one thing that I long for, God, to be with you. And Lord, you are my light and my salvation, no reason to be afraid when I'm with you. Oh Lord, you are the one thing I desire, one thing that I long for, God, to be with you. And Lord, you are my light and my salvation, no reason to be afraid when I'm with you.
As the Spirit was moving over the water, Spirit, come move over us. Come rest on us. Come rest on us. As the Spirit was moving over the water, Spirit, come move over us. Come rest on us. Come rest on us. Let heaven on in. Come rest on us. Come rest on us. Fire and wind, come and do it again. Open up the gates, let heaven on in.
Good morning, church family. I'm Heather.
And I'm Stephen.
And we're so glad you chose FBCW as your place of worship this morning. If you're new, welcome. It's great to have you. We have a few quick announcements to share with you before we get started with our service.
Up first, we're excited for this year's Vision Night as we share a meal and discuss the mission and vision of FBCW for 2025. On Wednesday, January 8th at 5:30 p.m., we'll gather together as one church body, seeking after the Lord and His will for our church. Be sure to register on Realm so we know that you're coming.
Next, if you're anything like my family, then you might have a tradition of getting bundled up for a Christmas Eve service, singing Christmas carols, and celebrating Advent, then going home and changing into your Christmas pajamas with excitement for the day to come. We would love to be a part of those Christmas traditions with your family at our upcoming Christmas Eve services, starting at 3, 4:30, and 6 p.m. Our first two services will be traditional, and our last service will be contemporary. Also, the last 2 Sundays of the year will be combined 10 a.m. services on December 22nd and 29th. We look forward to spending this Christmas season with you and your family.
And finally, we're so grateful for your giving that has brought us halfway to our giving goal for Lottie Moon. Lottie Moon directly supports missionary presence around the world so that lives can be transformed by the gospel. And we hope that you will join us in reaching our giving goal of $50,000 this Christmas. Go to Realm and be sure to choose Lottie Moon in the drop-down. Thank you for all you're doing in our business to support missionaries across the world.
Before we continue in worship, watch this short message from our IMB missionaries on how they're working in the South Pacific. You might even recognize one of the faces you see.
We thank God that Southern Baptists are rallying around, praying for, and working towards solving the greatest problem in the world, lostness. The Bible says, "How then can they call on the one they have not believed in? And how can they believe in the one of whom they have not heard? And how can they hear without someone preaching to them? And how can they preach unless they are sent?"
The obvious answer to this is they can't. That is why every year around this time, we set aside more time, more praying, and more giving in our churches to make sure those who have never heard might hear. Your giving is also helping us invest in and raise up world Christians and long-term missionaries through an IMB gap year program we call NT365. This program starts in the Philippines with an 11-week intensive discipleship, leadership, mission, and church planting training. Someone from our team is with these students 24/7 for the entire phase.
This gap year cohort is in class during the week and deployed in villages every weekend. They are also trained in community development, learning what it might look like to serve God among the world's 2 billion people that live on less than $2.50 a day. After this initial 11-week training, the gap year participants will be deployed in 3 different countries for the remainder of the year.
This year's NT365 gap year students want to say,
"Thank you for giving to the Lottie Moon Christmas offering."
And thank you indeed, First Family. That's Lydia Garnett up there. For those of you that may have joined with us after we sent her out this summer, she's almost 4 months into her gap year, and her and her team are doing well and serving Christ faithfully. And it is possible for her and so many other students like her to do that because of your giving to the Lottie Moon offering for international missions. My name is David Rhymes. I'm the Go and Tell pastor here, and I just want to welcome each and every one of you to our Sunday gathering as we worship Christ together. We also want to welcome you, our guests. Thank you for being with us today. I know Sundays can be busy, and here you are with us, and we're happy for that. And I know